Generals, gentlemen.
As we do jump into the rift, this is going to be game number 2 for our series between, on our left-hand side, when in Tokyo, against our right-hand side, the red team, BMA. At the moment, the score stands at 1-1, so it's nice and even for our two teams. BMA did, of course, take away the last game. Any other player names on the left-hand side for when in Tokyo? We have Prawnstar on the Wukong, Sharks with Lasers on the Morgana.
Will we see Hardwell get his 4th first blood in the row? He fires onto Jack, but will this be a kill? He runs away just fine. Dark Biden going, and the spear to Chiselbra. This will not be our first blood, but maybe not. BMADC running for his life. Spear will not chunk at the back of his face, running away from that one here. So I like that. That was a fantastic adaptation, but going in for the counter invade.
This is nice, but the chains do land onto Prawnstar.
But just after he dashed in, a lot of damage going back and forth. There's a dark... No, there's not a dark binding.
Didn't land.
There is no dark binding. That would have been a first blood had that one gone in and locked them down. So as I was trying to say, fantastic adaptation there from when in Tokyo. They've obviously sat down at this little conference board and go, well, it would appear as if Hardwell has secured 3 first bloods with those death sentences. Let's go ahead and position nearby that brush as a team. Shark Lasers will getting caught here. He's going to be fine, though. Back away.
Yeah, 1 minute 37, which means definitely a red buff start's going to have to come out here for Prawnstar as they do back away from this one. It was such a good adaptation. It's like, you know what? Let's group 5 men in the bush and see who he pulls in. And they went for the engage, and they almost lost a member as well. Chiselbra got taken very low during the engagement. It was a really nice counter.
What they also could have done, if they were feeling particularly ballsy, was level up the Black Shield first, put it onto Prawnstar, and then just meet the invade, match it in force, and see how that goes. But of course, Dark Binding just always being the strong level 1 invade ability for that ridiculously powerful snare.
That is indeed, and I would love to read out the play names, but of course, our team's just thinking the level 1's just too important, and they're going to have a bit of fun with that. So on our left-hand side is Prawnstar as the Wukong, Sharks with Lasers as our Morgana, Jack onto the Nidalee, Rymy's Warwick, of course, and a Rusty Spork with the Caitlyn.
Over on BMA, Chiselbra gets caught here, but a counter death sentence to match that one in kind. Piercing Light being the superior harassment here. Chiselbra feeling good about himself. Headshot will do a bit of damage, and a pill with a pacemaker. Trading back and forth in the lane. Dark Binding not able to find its target there, but hopefully I will have a chance on our right-hand side. BMA. We do have BMADC as a jungling Amumu, Spike as the Shyvana, Chiselbra as the Lucian, Hardwell as the Thresh, and lastly, Excalibur as... What? No, Excalibur as the LeBlanc, not moving the camera just to disorient me, but looks as though we do have a fantastic Black Shield in at the bottom lane there as Prawnstar. He's looking for some plays. Where are you going, buddy? Perhaps going to the mid lane for a gank. Let's see if he gets there in a time. Going back to the river all over the place.
Prawnstar did, I think, get the timer onto those wraiths, which means he's looking for a bit of damage onto BMADC. That Amumu, if you can take away the blue or kill him early, he has such a hard time farming up in the jungle until he starts getting the utility available from his curse.
Rymy getting a fair bit of harassment from Spike. Flame Breath and the Burnout is just great CS there. There is the sustain that Warwick has on his Q, but it isn't really enough in this situation. It may well outscale. How do you think this lane matchup does
Rymy goes a little bit better as it gets later on into the game. Spike just has such early game damage with the zoning potential from the burnout, which happens against most of the top laners. Rymy will start to just sustain up once he can get, you know, something mana-y and gets a little bit tanky as well. Can burn through mana a little bit as he tries to sustain. Chiselbra has been caught by so many Piltover Peacemakers.
Rusty Spork harassing very well. Typically the Lucian Thresh is the aggressive lane with the trades and the pokes, but this time around, Sharks with Lasers and Rusty Spork seem to be the alpha in terms of the harassment. BMADC looking for a gank, double buffed up and ready to go.
The mid lane's a good choice.
Yeah, Jack may get caught, has the flash available, and a fantastic silence from Excalibur, running for his life. There's a snare, and that's going to be your first blood. Tears too much. Excellent gank there. Flash was not burned.
It wasn't. No, couldn't even get away from that one. It was just too close. Excalibur caught him out, and it's a good combo. The Bandage Toss have the chains as well. There's a lot of lockdown, and despite the barrier, Jack's still getting taken out.
Yeah, I think the silence must have prevented the flash.
I think that was why, yeah.
The Sigil of Silence with the distortion is a nice silence there indeed. So excellent play here. So for now, best Mechanics Aus looking strong in this game with that first blood especially. CS as well looking pretty good here for our top lane. Bottom lane, look, not so much.
Yeah, at the same time, here in the bottom lane, Rusty Spork's playing very, very well for when in Tokyo. It's 29-19. It's a really quite a serious zoning potential onto Chiseled Bra. He's taken a lot of damage, and mainly because of the amount of headshots and pull of the peacemakers that have actually hit in the lane, meant he had to burn through his pots really quickly.
Yeah, it's good mechanics by Rusty Spork, saving the headshot. But Hardwell getting very, very low here. Flashes away just fine. The Death Mark not finding its mark there. Chiselbra going to dash away just fine, saving all of those headshots for the champion harassment rather than overkilling for the minions when he can. Not always an option. Sometimes they're just zoned back too much to actually make that connect.
Rhyme's going to have the Infinite Duress available soon, so I wouldn't be surprised as Jack gets jumped on.
He's going to get snared as well, but Excalibur dashes away, won't commit to the all-in engage. Once they get that level 6 for that ridiculous bursting spike, Rhyming out of mana will have a hard time getting a sustain. No mana for the Hungering Strike.
Indeed, so we'll have a little bit of difficulty in the lane. We'll have the Infinite Duress soon, and what I was going to say is I'd like to see his jungler actually move up, Prawnstar, move up towards that top lane, taking a little bit of damage again. Ethereal Chains land.
Primal Surge, very nice for the sustain there. BMADC almost level 6 for the Curse of the Sad Mummy. Able to make some fantastic ganks happen with that Curse. And it has the Null Magic Mantle, so... Oh, no, that's the wrong person, my bad. That Null Magic Mantle is actually over to Jack in the mid lane, so a very good item choice because that will nullify a lot of the burst and harass coming out of Excalibur's LeBlanc.
Yeah, it is a nice pickup to avoid that bursty combo. BMADC getting very, very close to that level 6, as you said. Having that assist as well as a nice amount of CS means he will hit that and can probably secure a kill anywhere he wants to.
Has no boots though, so BMADC is quite slow, and it can be hard for him to position in range to get the bandage toss when everyone else is just faster than him, but he's looking for a gank still. Is running through some wards, so the bottom lane for Win in Tokyo, they know what's up.
Yeah, they know he's coming in. They're going to be absolutely fine avoiding this one. I think he's standing on top of one right now, just having a little bit of a chillax. Yes, he is. It is nice ward control around the river area now. For when in Tokyo. TBMA not really having that same ward control.
In the bottom lane, Hardwell getting harassed. Great work here from our bottom lane of when in Tokyo. Really applying the pressure just like Spike is doing so in the top lane. Both only having their Doran's Blade, so not going to have any more items for that extra damage or the tankiness. And once again, BMADC looking for a gank here. Hardwell not landing that death sentence, but again, the ward is revealing BMADC.
It's times like this you wish you had a sweeping lens because you just don't know if you're standing on top of a ward or not, and that he is wasting a lot of time down there in that bottom lane.
There still is the possibility for a Lantern gank, Lantern into the bandage toss, but again, the ward is going to keep revealing BMADC.
Ah, poor guy.
He really wants to find the gank, but the longer he stands around, is just sort of wasting his XP. Jack getting very, very low. Burning the ultimate there from Excalibur just to take Jack down as low as she possibly can.
Excalibur's really, her mechanics have been absolutely on clutch at the moment. Chiselbright get taken very, very low. Caught by the Dark Binding under the tower. The Twin Soil actually almost ticked off for the kill.
But there's a curse in the mid lane. Jack getting very low, and that is the snare that will allow the Ignite to actually wear off. Excalibur dies. Jack survives this one. Oh, I thought the Ignite was ticking at the front, but that was the last of the Ignite. Jack survives under the tower, turning that one around.
Bit of a heavy misplay there in the mid lane. Jack just surviving that one. Excalibur took so much damage from those tower shots.
Yeah, especially LeBlanc isn't the diver. She does She has the distortion and the ult distortion. She can dive well with that, but given the fact that she's just so squishy, unless you can distort out of there, it's very risky going for those dives. But look, in the top lane, still no backs. About a 20 CS advantage here for Spike. Feeling quite confident in the lane, but there's a duress and a Cyclone from Prawnstar. Dashes away, but not up into the under tower full of dive. Flashes in, wants to get the kill, but Prawnstar may pay for it with his life. Tower does connect, but not able to secure the kill. So that's 2 kills now for when in Tokyo.
It was very, very nice rotation up towards that top lane. Rhymy does get dangerous when he gets that Infinite Duress, and Spike being a little bit ahead of himself because, you know, of the CS advantage that he actually does have. Oh, Jack getting a little bit outplayed there in the lane, missing a few of those spears.
Excalibur leveling up the distortion more so than the sigil, so won't have the easiest harassment there. But look at that combination. The Tormented Soil is there ready and waiting, so obviously using those smart casting to get the Tormented Soul down as fast as you can, because it's nice to have not only for the extra damage, but each Tormented Soul stack, it also then shreds the MR.
Be nice. Jack, of course, having that Cougar form available now is going to give her a lot more utility and use. We do have the pickaxe being picked up by a Rusty Spork. Did back off before, it's still the double Dorans only on to Chiseled Bra and being a little bit behind in CS. Right on cue now, but we'll have to back.
Both of our top laners having the items, which is great. A pretty big spike in health and damage. Spectre's Cowl and the Vamp Scepter. Spike's going to be very hard to push out of that lane. For the most part, Warwick is a magic dealer, so that MR will make it hard for Raimi to do his damage. But likewise, Raimi with the Chain Vest and the Giant Spot looks like he wants to get the Sun 5k and the boost in the bottom. Like Prawns are going in. That's a fantastic dark binding. And that will allow a Rusty Spork to pick up the kill onto Chisel Bra. Jack getting low by the snare and, of course, the sigil.
Yeah, indeed. So Chisel Bra not quite clicking the land, and he must have been so close to it, just being snared for a little bit too long. Ooh, that's a bit of a dive onto Jack. Just the sorting back, though.
Just a bit of harass. It's free harassment, because if you dive and then you dash away with the distortion, it does allow you to get away out of trouble there. Spike now and Rami will clash heads, but whose head's going to clash the hardest? Rami with the... And a Dragon's Ascent as well. He's going all in, not messing around here, but Rami will waddle away just fine.
Yeah, Rami wasn't quite low enough for that to actually pay off. She was a little bit low, but the Dragon's Ascent really didn't get the knockback that was necessary for Spike to get the final damage there. But Rami doing a good job in the lane. We'll have to see if he can use that Infant Duress again.
Not for a while. It is a pretty... Oh, it's actually on...
Oh, it's up.
It is available. Wow, so he can dive with that one. I thought he'd use that in the engagement, but obviously not here. Raimi playing a risky game. Castle Minions doing a lot of damage. Raimi getting low from that one. Not able to sustain with the with his Q because of those caster minions throwing their little orbs at him.
They're so low as well, the caster minions. Raimi's losing out on a lot of them, taking a lot of burnout damage as well. But in the bottom lane here, BMADC having to back off from the bottom.
Excalibur continuing to harass for free. Spike is giving the extra movement speed to Rami because of how low he is with the Blood Scent. Well, that's nice there. So it means if he does get dived, it'll actually allow him to move around faster. That outer turret, very low. Fantastic spell shield. Will keep Shark with lasers out of trouble.
Does have an absolutely crazy Morgana, playing very well in the lane. But down the bottom there, I think Prawnstar is just sitting in the brush. He is looking for a gank. And BMADC actually backed off from this one and as well. Prawnstar standing on a ward. Great ward coverage from both teams.
Not able to land that Cyclone in the mid lane though. We may see a Banish Toss and a Curse of the Sad Mummy. But BMADC will get out of that lane. Not going to make something happen there. May run into Prawnstar. He's in that brush. He isn't revealed, but they probably knew where he is from the other ward in the lower lane brush there. So much more harassment. Excalibur not really going for the all-in, just happy to trade with the Distortion and the Sigil of Silence. But Jack is sustaining pretty well with his Primal Surge for the heal.
Yeah, she's absolutely happy having been... even on CS. Just got to be careful of those spears. As Jack starts leveling up, getting some more OP, they're going to start chunking so much more. Spike is going to pick up this top lane tower, and that's the first tower of the game.
With that tower gone, Spike may go for the kill here. Raimi taking a bit of damage from the burnout. There's a Dragon's Den as well. That knocked him back. Raimi looking pretty low. He's getting the heals with the Hungering Strike there. So again, hard to land those kills when they're just that tanky.
Yeah, Spike being a little bit indecisive there, deciding, do I go for the Dragon's Den, do I not? Ended up not paying off. Didn't have, enough. I just think the burnout probably wasn't off cooldown. BMADC going to take a little bit of poke back after going in for that Bandage Toss.
Interesting thing to mention is that looking at the abilities of Jex, she's actually been leveling up the Primal Surge rather than the Q, the Javelin Toss. So it will give her a lot more sustain, which is exactly what you need against a LeBlanc. Despite how hard the harassment has been, Jex has been healing through it.
Yeah, he has indeed, despite all the distortion taunts. But here, Shucks with lasers gets caught.
He's going to get caught hardcore. The culling takes him out. The curse not landing onto a Rusty Spork, but a free kill in that bot lane.
Yeah, Rusty Spork running away from that one. It burned, but Rusty Spork gets dived.
A very, very bold move, sticking around for the kill. Will die in the process, almost getting a kill onto Chiselbra and Hardwell, but meanwhile in the mid lane, Excalibur made some plays of his own. Prawnstar looking to meet him, snaring him down.
Objective, of course, got taken out in that mid lane. Couldn't pick a target. A Rusty Spork went for Chisel. He went for Hardwell and then went for Chisel. I'm like, I don't know. And didn't end up getting either of them. Caught out by Hardwell's death sentence quite hard.
So for now, a 1k gold lead for BMA. Incredibly close though. Dragon ready for the taking. We may see BMA position for that one.
wouldn't surprise me if it looks like they're going to decide to back off. Hardware was quite low, as was Chisel Brass. I'm a pretty big fan of that change up there. Raimi has his Sunfire Cape completed, so he's going to have a little bit better time in the lane.
And likewise, same with the Bilgewater Cutlass, so they are itemizing pretty evenly at the similar time, but Spike is still about 20 CS above, so definitely winning the lane so far. Rami actually above in levels. We'll get that level to ultimate for extra damage. Jack again getting so much poke from just the distortion, the ultimate distortion, and then the sigil of silence.
It is indeed. So our lane's just going to calm down a little bit here. It's a 1k gold lead at the moment to BMA. They're a little bit ahead in this game at the moment, mainly in the CS department, especially that top lane. Spike's playing a pretty good game against that Warwick onto Rhyme. We'll see how they do scale into later on in the game. Chisabra just going to avoid that Dark Binding.
Looking back at Jack, not only does he have been leveling up the Primal Surge, but running the barrier, it's basically everything he's doing is focused around not dying, and that he's been doing not exactly the best. He has got 2 deaths, but considering he's up against a LeBlanc, it definitely can go a lot worse, because Nidalee will scale better into the mid to late game than what the LeBlanc can. LeBlanc's a snowbally assassin, needs to get the snowball, needs to get those really burst potential, which so far, with only the Athene's Unholy Grail, probably not enough to actually make that significant assassinations.
It doesn't really have it yet, and so Jack does, of course, just want to survive as he gets later on into the game, where she really comes into her own with the Javelins just taking incredible amounts of health off, so we can see just good dives. Here comes the curse.
That's a 3-man curse, and a Climb off to the side here. Descendant's going in and does find Sharks with lasers. He's going to get taken out by Chisabra. Cyclone not too bad there. BMADC looking very, very low. Cyclone on the chase. Prawnstar picks him up and flashes away. Who's going to be next? Jack will pounce away just fine. Rusty Sport caught in the box. Nowhere to run, and will get hooked there by Hardwell now. So Jack does get flayed back. Chisabra looking for the piercing light and his auto attacks there indeed, but getting the passive on Nidalee for the extra movement speed. Looking for the distance. Can he find it? He has to flash away. May not have actually landed, but playing it safe there indeed. So a 2 for 2, Dragon still standing.
Exactly what you want to do, be defending. So Dragon is, as you said, still up. So it's either team's game at the moment. The gold lead is starting to sway back in the favour of winning Toyko, but still in BMA's favour. Just going to be holding down that bottom lane. Chisabra not going to be able to put any damage down onto it.
Both of our marksmen do have the Bloodthirster. Prawnstar going in deep. I guess he has the dummy, so he can play that aggressive, but Spike looks as though it will have this tower taken out by herself, and we do see Best Mechanics Aus pinging for the Dragon. They do want to take that one. Not a lot of wards there. Oh, actually, no, just kidding. There is a ward into the Dragon.
Ward just went over the side there, so Best Mechanics, they're looking for a bit of a pick-off here. They may manage to secure the Dragon. Pit of a Peacemaking comes over, but it may not be enough to secure it. The Dragon has been taken. Hardwell takes a lot of damage from those spears.
Not having the best dealing. There is the spear and the put of Peacemaker, but even then, it's average at best in terms of dealing. You really want to have someone actually jump in and do try and get the smite. We're looking at our jungler Prawnstar. He was back in his base, so he definitely had no chance of getting that steal. So that Dragon has secured pretty much the highest gold lead in the game thus far. About a 2k here for Best Mechanics Aus.
These two teams are just so close to each other. There's no obvious advantage. There's no obvious winners coming out. 2 towers to 1 actually in favor of BMA. Oh, the spear actually hit there onto Excalibur. That's got to be the maxes of max range.
I don't think it's possible to be maxer than that max spear indeed. So look, in the top, Raimi starting to chunk down the tower, but Spike way ahead of him. Already pushed that tower down quite some time ago. So many of these wards around the Dragon Pit. Looks as though when Toyko positioning around to get that one. Oh, the ace in the hole would have secured the kill had that Javelin toss connected onto our dear LeBlanc.
Yeah, Excalibur's clone getting caught up there. BMADC also moving into the lane. He does have such great zoning potential with the curse. He walks near you and you go, I don't really want to go anywhere near you in case I get caught.
Yeah, the Banish Toss and the Curse, it really can lock someone down for quite a while and really sets up the team fight, especially with the culling. You'll take the entire culling if you do get caught by those. So going for the Siege here, pretty good wave clear from especially when in Toyko. Chisabra getting quite low from the spear. Yeah, we do see not the best wave clear. I mean, there is the culling available on Chisabra, but that's an ultimate. You don't want to burn that just for the lane clear. That's more of a team fighting thing, at least ideally.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why when in Tokyo are going to really scale into this game because they do have a nicer siege comp with that Nidalee, with that Caitlyn, which means it's going to be forcing down the lanes quite hard. Jax is going to keep throwing out those spears. Has the Athenes completed now and just wants to try and find pickoffs. Spears almost landing.
Not able to get that tower down. Top lane here is pushing up for best Mechanics Aus, but that's not going to be too much of an urgency considering the outer turret has already been pushed there. So recalls coming back and forwards here, looking for more of these spears. We do see a Blade of the Ruined King finished now onto our Shyvana. Spike's going to have a lot more damage.
Spike does it well there, has the Spirit Visage as well. Going to have some nice laning potential against Rhyme. He should be fairly safe up there. You've also got the Salva catching out Jack here, but the Black Shield just being a little bit too strong. Spear ended up missing there. Chiselbra actually does prefer starting with that BF sword. Hits onto Excalibur there. Gotta love these spears. It's just it's fun to watch.
It really is. Probably one of the most exciting things is following the spear and whether or not it does actually land. It's a little bit frustrating as the spectator because you have all the hotkeys to follow 1 to 10 players, but there's no hotkey to follow the spear. You have to manually do it.
Righto, please. Can we have a spear follow? It can't be too hard. You can just add it in there, just like the spear follow, and just like drags along with it. Maybe adds in some cool theme music.
Same with death rockets and things like that. it would just be fantastic. So we do see the bottom tower being pressured by Chiseled Bra. He's going to be fine. If he does get positioned nearby aggressively, he does have the Ardent Blaze for his movement speed boost if he actually lands that one.
Oh, looks like he's going to be moving to the bot lane here now. Sharks gets caught.
Fantastic bandage toss there and the curse follow-up. Getting a very, very quick kill despite the Black Shield. That tower will drop indeed, and maybe even Rusty Spork because of the death hook.
Death sentence?
Death sentence.
Very nice. Okay, Rhyme taking a lot of damage here from Spike. The Ignite goes down, and this time the Dragon's Ascent.
Oh, but a nice Infinite Duress under the tower won't be enough, but hey, you might as well get the half health down to Shyvana. So, look, Jack is farming up better, but Rusty Spork's getting very low. Can't dodge the Death Sentence, but can dodge the Ardent Blaze, which is ideally not the ideal thing to dodge.
It's not indeed. So, a little bit unfortunate. Does get taken out yet again. And Rusty Spork has suffered a little bit by getting caught out by a lot in the way of those... by a lot of those death sentences, in fact. He's been caught out by quite a few of them. Maybe he's just going to be farming up in this mid lane as well now. Someone's going to go back and take a little bit of a handle on things. But of course, Hardwell did go. He's starting to move towards that Locket of the Iron Solara, which makes me think that Team BMA are going to have be looking for team fighting potential.
We're trying to work out how to turn the light switch on. We don't seem to be very successful in this regard. There we go. Fantastic work. Now, Excalibur, got to be careful of these Nidalee spears because, look, Nidalee can do the damages, as we keep emphasizing here, throwing them with some pretty good cooldowns because of the Unthink's Unholy Grail.
Yeah, you add that to the blue buff, and she is throwing them out all the time. At the moment, it looks like just the landing phase is going to be extended a little bit here for when in Tokyo. Exactly what they try and want to do. They want to try and force down objectives by taking control and getting ahead in CS in the lanes. Whereas on the side of BMA, they're looking for the pickoffs and the team fight. So extending the landing phase is good for the side of when in Tokyo.
Playing this one very safe. No one's really getting caught. No one sort of, oh, whoopsie, in the jungle gets caught by the Dark Binding. They're all sort of around their towers being dived on. It's just a really solid gameplay from these two top-tier teams. Prawnstar will get focused by Spike. No kill potential, but the Dragon will be spawning quite soon, and we'll see the preparation of teams getting nearby, looking for the best position. Prawnstar getting very, very low to Spike, going in with the burnout. Sharks with lasers will try and land the Dark Binding there, but won't quite find that one.
Yeah, not going to be finding that one, but 5 men are here, ready to go up by Team BMA. They're right near the Dragon, but at the same time, the mid lane tower is being pressured by Rami.
This is going to be a bit of a collapse between the bottom and the top. Flashes in, and Rami gets the tower, but who gets the Dragon? Prawnstar will drop now. We do see the red team getting that one in the end. Spike getting hit by the Soul Shackles. Not the ideal target for that one, though. So that wasn't exactly the best engagement there for when in Tokyo. But there goes another kill for Spike. Sharks with lasers will be next here. Piercing Light picks him up with the Gunslinger passive in the end. Excalibur does survive that one just fine. And so getting 2 towers, though, not too bad there for when in Tokyo.
It is a nice pull, but because 2 members were back, they lost another 3 down the bottom, as well as losing the Dragon. For 2 towers, it does give them some better objective positioning and may allow them to take control of the next dragon, which could be nice. We do have the bottom lane tower has been taken now. Wow, towers falling across the map. This is absolutely nuts. So BMA took that bottom lane tower, and up the top there, when in Tokyo, did take the top. So it's 4 towers to 4 now, nice and even. But the gold lead, of course, over to BMA.
All the tears disrupted Raimi. I don't think he realized it, though. So Raimi probably going to be fine.
Oh, he knows him now.
Yeah, definitely. So it is doing a bit of damage with the tears, but Raimi is pretty tanky there. Not really any more slows, but has to burn the flash. Flashes for his own bandage toss in return. Raimi not looking too good right now.
Where's the Dragon's Ascent? Probably not going to need it. Spike does take him out.
Holding on to that ultimate is a good move there, but going back to that tower pushing, because you have the Primal Surge for the attack speed, and also the attack speed on Warwick, they can push those towers down pretty fast.
They can indeed. So now it's BMA. They're pulling quite far ahead in this game. It's still 5k in terms of the gold lead, but they're taking objective control as well.
So 5k gold lead, looking good here for best Mechanics Aus. So who's going to try and initiate these team fights here? Looks as though we're seeing a bit of a 5-man push down the middle by Wen in Tokyo. Going for the blue for now. They're going to be a good choice there indeed. So there are 2 inner turrets left for either team. So they can't exactly get those easy outer turrets. Baron, I think at this stage is a little bit too much of a hard objective. You want to make sure you do get some snipes and some kills before going for that Baron. Going in with a bandage toss, but again, finding the decoy.
I'm going to be taking a couple of shots from a Rusty Spork in return there. Something we should mention, Chiselbra on those 8 kills now. So he's got Trinity Force fully stacked up Bloodthirster. He's playing a pretty damn fantastic game and is quite far ahead on gold on his opposing ADC there on a Rusty Spork. So well played, Chiselbra.
As the Merc treads, so he really does want to avoid, I think most noticeably, Sharks with lasers, because the Dark Binding, the Soul Shackles really can shut him down there. And Jack not quite going to get caught just yet. Misses both of those snares from LeBlanc. Not exactly ideal, but that's fine, because the ultimate is a very, very low cooldown for LeBlanc.
Landing at least one of the Ethereal Chains would have been nice, but you know, not 100% necessary. At least he knows which ability to actually duplicate. The Ethereal Chains double up is quite nice. BMADC just walking through the jungle there, for a little bit of pressure themselves on the side of BMA, despite the superior siege comp that we have coming out from when in Tokyo.
Death cap.
Oh, here we go. Maybe he's actually going in.
Oh, it does find it, but not finding the curse there. It's not just yet. He may find it quite soon. Raimi gets knocked back by the Death Center. That's going to be a kill here for free when in Tokyo, backing away from that one.
Gonna have to back off, yeah, but does lose the kill there onto Raimi, and so the pressure is coming out from BMA in the mid lane. They've also got off to the side Spike, so she's looking for the side engage. No, going to be pressuring the bot tower, going for a bit of a split push now.
Considering it's a 4v5, they can do that safely. Prawnstar gets knocked back in. Look how low Hardwell is. Ace in the hole is tanked by Excalibur. Nice work. Cyclone still available here for Prawnstar. The spear, max range, picks up Hardwell. That's great to see. But in the bottom lane, of course, Spike pushing through the tower with that minion wave.
And Spike's going to get this one, but it could be a Baron rotation coming out from when in Tokyo.
They're definitely going for it. Raimi spawning up quite soon, but at the Baron, that's a bold move. BMA moving in to invade that one.
He's got the smite.
And the smite, they're both available, so or neither the culling rather. So not having the culling, which would be great, but look how low BMA are. Baron about half HP, doing quite well. Excalibur with the crazy burst here, fantastic work. Does drop by a Rusty Spork. The Cyclone will take out BM80C. Now it's only Chiselbra just left. This is going to get taken out by Prawnstar. Double kill for him, but in the bottom lane, Spike got the inner turret and not the inhib. Can they get the Baron?
I'm not sure. Like, they're both all taking a hell of a lot of damage, and the Baron is taking down very, very low. I think they will be able to finish it off now. Prawnstar's actual clone does get focused, and they will manage to take it out. Spike, though, no. I think she thought she was going to die, but actually didn't in the end, walking away with a pixel of health.
And that is a swag Baron and a half. I like how after the team fight, it was like, okay, who's going to take the Baron? And Rusty Spork on the Caitlyn was like, guys, it's fine. I'll take the Baron. I'm the Caitlyn. I have the most HP. Got absolutely shredded by the Baron. But they got that one in the end. Nice decoy as well. The Baron was actually going for decoy at one stage, so that was funny to see. But that's a fantastic objective control there for when in Tokyo. They really need that one as well. They're about 4k behind in gold, even despite getting that Baron.
Yeah, starting to pull it back now, though, and do have that Baron for the siege. I'd love them to see them group up and try and pressure definitely the secondary towers in the top and bottom lanes. They definitely have the potential to actually take them out. Now they have the regen from the Baron buff.
Jack now finishing up the Void Staff, so really just looking to have those powerful Death Spears and do as much damage as she can with that one. Pretty glass cannon at this stage, so got to be careful in the positioning of these team fights, but we'll continue to throw spear after spear.
That she will indeed. Once you get the Rabadons and the Void Staff, you start really chunking with those spears, and here we go in the mid lane. But the engage come from BMC.
Nice 4-man curse, and there's a Dragon's Ascent. So much damage in this team fight. Who's going to drop first? Jack is safe in the back line. The Excalibur very, very low off to the side. Rami does take him out, though. But in the end, Prawnstar going back in, getting low. And that's the dummy, though. So Prawnstar survives this one, shutting down the Shivano. That is a 2-for-0. Nice team fight there when in Tokyo. Baronet definitely helping.
And Baron's going to keep regenning them up so they can just keep forcing down this mid lane tower. The recall from BMADC not actually being stopped there, but BMA are in some serious trouble. 2 members down, and they have winning Tokyo knocking at the front door.
Fantastic siege from Nidalee and the Caitlyn. Nidalee with a Primal Surge has great attack speed with her AP, and of course, well, hey, Caitlyn is Caitlyn. She attacks towers pretty well. I think everyone knows that by now.
I think we do indeed. So the Dragon is going to just be secured now for when in Tokyo. I do like that because they're starting to pull back the gold lead now, and that's thus the item disparity that's coming out. BMADC may get caught here.
Doesn't look like. Nope, they're going to be fine. Backing away for now. So all of a sudden, when in Tokyo, they're turning this one around, still behind in gold, but having a couple of decisive team fights that are really granting these objectives.
As well as the fact that Baron buff is going to be up for a little bit longer, so I'd like to see them recall, get some buys, and try for another pressure just through that mid lane. It worked out well for them last time, despite the nice engage coming out from Best Mechanics Aus. BMADC came in with the Curse Spike, jumped in with the Dragon Scent, but in the end, the Baron buff was just too much to deal with.
Sharks with lasers finishing up the Hourglass, so we'll be able to have those clutch Hourglass Soul Shackles play that we do always love seeing. Forces the displacement, because if they don't displace, they'll get stunned for quite a considerable amount of times. A lot of minions pushing up the top lane here. Rami wants the farm, but Spike doesn't want to let it happen. Or maybe not, backing off, just recalling. Oh, nope. I don't even know anymore.
Warding, just chilling there in the lane, maybe looking for a little bit of damage onto Rami in the end. Rusty Spook does, of course, have that last whisper now, so some nice damage and be able to take out those tanky members. You've got BMADC and Spike as well, so it's quite a nice pickup if she can start jumping away.
Looking at the items once again, pretty similar for the AD carries. I guess the Triforce is the stock standard item there. This Triforce is just really, really good, but Rami getting very, very low, caught out of position. Spike waiting around for BMADC, a good choice there, but now pressuring up the middle turret. Great spell shield, blocking off that Death Sentence. The middle tower does drop though. Rusty Spork not quite dropping the process despite getting that low, and here comes Spike off to the side looking for the engage. 4v5 with a Dragon's Descent now. A lot of damage coming out. Cyclone knocking them all up into the air. Fantastic work, but the Soul Shackles will lock them down for now. Prawnstar going back in for the kill, but won't back away in time. Shark lasers will fall to the last auto attack of Chiselbra. Rusty Spork going in with the barrier for the extra health. Chiselbra drops to the Pillar of a Peacemaker and the Spear. And that's a double kill here for Rusty Spork, but Jack is alive in the fight and gets the ace.
Yeah, it was the ace there in the end, so Jack's just going to be all on his own, pressuring down, going to be going for the inhib now. It's actually getting some pretty serious damage down onto it. Look at those auto attacks.
Yeah, they're fantastic there with that AFP. And of course, the attack speed, as I mentioned earlier. That's going to be the first.
He's going to keep pushing as well. Might even get a base tower out of this. I'm not exactly sure. Gets a few auto attacks down.
Look, he may do so.
For the, oh no, going to be clearing out the minion waves as well. Taking a fair few turret shots in the process.
10 seconds left onto BMADC and Hardwell. Rami defending up the bottom lane there, so not able to get the Nexus turret, but that's definitely... Getting the inhib is great, really applies the pressure.
It is a really nice push out now from when in Tokyo, and they're looking really good in this game. They've actually pulled ahead in the gold now. They're 100 gold above, and that just shows how close this game is. 5 towers for 5. There is absolutely nothing in this.
Yeah, really, really close here. I think the inhib is going to be the deciding factor here because that will limit how aggressive Team BMA can be, pushing out across the map with their Nexus turrets exposed to these super minions.
Yeah, and it's a Spike's been pushing down this mid lane, looking for a bit of damage onto a Rusty Spork. Baron is up in 1:35, so it'll be interesting to see who decides to go for that one. Both teams for a little bit of warding around the area. Warding superior pretty much to Best Mechanics Aus at the moment.
Still pushing through very, very well. Yeah, wards are all over, mainly near the Baron. That's definitely the focus of their warding. Ace in the hole going in. We'll get tanked, though, by BMADC. That's fine. His tanky is all hell. Dragon doesn't look like it's spawning for quite some time.
It's not up. Was taken out earlier by When in Tokyo. Actually managed to take it. Big minion wave up the top there, but that's just going to get cleared away by Prawnstar.
Has the Banshee's Veil as well as the Aranduin, so going to be able to really jump into the back lines and absorb a lot of damage and then pop that slow to really slow them down. And that is, of course, what slows do. But look, in the middle, Baron spawning very, very soon, and that's just going to be really crucial. Who gets that Baron and who wins the team fight around the Baron is the only really way to close these games when they're just so close and no one's getting caught.
Exactly right. So Spike going back to buy up some more items before this Baron fight. She has now got just the Warden's Veil, so she's got that Sunfire Cape completed a while ago, probably moving into a Randoms or something similar, and now here we go. We have positioning around the Baron area for When in Tokyo. They're looking for it. They're looking for the ward control.
But they're both so warded. They, of course, were revealed by that ward earlier for BMA, but we do see Hardwell moving in, looking for the death sentence. So When in Tokyo not taking the Baron just yet.
No, but Excalibur actually backed off from this one. We're 5 seconds to the Baron. Should get back in time, but got to be careful.
That's the Baron respawn just now. They've got to be careful. If they stay around for too long, the Nidalee Spears will take them down quite low there. Hardwell barely survives that one. Excalibur has rejoined the fight.
Yes, indeed. So Jack's just going to be throwing out as many spears as possible. Maybe looking for the dive onto BM ADC. Probably aren't going to find him though. Ooh, it's just positioning for both teams around the area. What When in Tokyo need to do, they just need to keep extending this, keep throwing out those Nidalee Spears, and hopefully force either Chiseled Bra or Excalibur to back off so they can secure this Baron.
If it's a 4v5, they can definitely take it. They're going to start it now, though. A bold move going for the Baron. Let's see if it pays off. What is Rusty Spork doing?
He's out of position. He's off to the side, which means the Baron's going to have to be stopped. They don't have a 5-man team, and so they're not going to try and grab it.
It's incredibly risky having your AD carry that far away from the rest of the team, and they're giving them a bit of position towards BMA. Whoever has control of the river and the brushes has a much easier time getting that Baron.
They do indeed. We've only actually got 2 scrying orbs, 1 out for each team, which surprises me a little bit. I'd expect a little more in the way of ward clearing, given how focused around this Baron the fights have been.
The sweeping lens?
Yeah, the sweeping lens, of course, the word I'm looking for there.
Yeah, definitely. You really want to clear out as many of those wards as you can, and having the 3 sweeping lenses is what we do see pretty often in the late game, which it definitely is at 38 minutes. The triple sweeping lenses really gives you the ability to just spam the sweeping lens everywhere and clear them out one by one. So Red Inhibitor has respawned. So it's good work for BMA to have stuck around and prevented the Baron whilst also pressuring the mid lane enough. That means that they won't be able to get the minions into the base and start sieging down those Nexus turrets.
Yeah, so deciding not to actually go for the Baron. Going to be rotating back mid. I think the Inhibitor has actually respawned. Dragon is live. Baron is live. Everything's getting very serious.
Very, very serious business over in the League of Legends. Vision Ward being cleared out. Spears being thrown forward and forward. Really wants to find someone, but so far, pretty good dodging here. BMA haven't got caught too many times, but speaking of caught, Prawnstar will be caught there. ADC looking for a fantastic curse, and a Dragon's Head off to the side here. Squishies are backing away just fine, and very deep diving for Prawnstar with a Cyclone. Who's going to drop first? It will not be Chuck's lasers because of the Zhonya's. Excalibur's waiting for it, and does not get it because of the shield. Rusty Spork getting bursted down. Excalibur have to back away from that one, though. In at the top here, Jack takes out our LeBlanc. BM ADC looking low, goes back in with a bandage toss, but backs away straight away and shutting down our Nidalee here, and so much death coming from BMA. Only Hardwell's left, and here's the Thresh where we have 4 members now of When in Tokyo, pushing out that Inhibitor once again, and may just go straight for the win.
Yeah, it looks like they're going for the game here. They're going to be taking a lot in the way of damage from those tower shots. That Black Shield's not going to help Raimi out when he's trying to tank that physical damage from the towers. Hardwell is still available. He's trying to pull them off. Really needs to kill Raimi or someone else. We still have just so long available though. Excalibur's 20 seconds away. Spike's 16 seconds away. This is going to be the game for When in Tokyo.
Not in time. A decisive ace. Very, very close. All of them being so low on HP. But in the end, all it took was that 10-15 second window for them to just take the Nexus and the turret surrounding it, of course. So well played here for When in Tokyo. So that will now bump it up to a 2-1 score. It is, of course, the first victory for When in Tokyo, but again, given that they were in the winners bracket, they do have that 1-win advantage there. So let's move on to game number 3 of When in Tokyo versus BMA.
Sounds fantastic.